The Ten Commandments. In our last story, we learned about God's continued provision as he quenched Israel's thirst for water. We learned about God's protection as he gave them victory over their first battle against the Amalekites. Now we will learn about God's continued blessing over his people and his promise to never leave them as he gives them the Ten Commandments and instructions for the tabernacle, as inspired by the book of Exodus. 3 months had passed since the exodus from Egypt. God had brought the people through hunger, thirst, and battle. The galvanizing force of God united the people of Israel. They had made it to the wilderness of Sinai, a grazing countryside lush and uninhabited. There they camped at the base of the mountain. There God called Moses and beckoned him to the top of the mountain. God spoke to Moses on top of the mountain and said, "Tell the people of Israel that I have bore them on eagle's wings to save them from the Egyptians. If you obey my commands and keep my promises, you will be my treasured possession among all people groups. For all the earth is mine, and you shall be my holy nation." So Moses went down and told the elders of God's promises. They consecrated themselves and flocked to the base of the mountain to worship God. On the morning of the 3rd day, thunder emanated from the peak of the mountain, and lightning lit up the skies surrounding the top. A thick cloud surrounded Sinai, and a bellowing trumpet could be heard from the top. The people trembled in awe and fear. Smoke could be seen at a distance, and Moses knew God had come in fire. The mountain shook, and the sound of the trumpet grew louder and louder. Moses began to speak, but was interrupted by thunder. Moses took a deep breath, looked back at the people, and ascended up the mountain. There, God spoke with great power and authority. With lightning surrounding the mountain and the earth shaking, God poured forth his commandments. He spoke, saying, "I am the Lord your God. I am the one who delivered you out of slavery from the land of Egypt. You shall have no other gods but me. You shall not make any idols, no carved images of anything that is below or above the earth. Do not bow to them or serve them, for I alone am your God. I am a jealous God, showing myself to generations of those who hated me. But I show steadfast love always, and show love to those who keep me and my commandments. You shall not take my name in vain, for I am the Lord, and I will hold him guilty if he takes my name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day. Keep it special and holy. Labor and work hard for 6 days, but on the 7th day you should rest. Sabbath and rest in for me. Enjoy me. You nor your children, servants, or livestock should labor. For I created all things in 6 days, and on the 7th I enjoyed the fruit of my labor. Honor your father and your mother. If you do, your days shall be long in the land I have given you. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not lie against your neighbor and bear false witness. You shall not covet and seek after your neighbor's possessions or relationships. God's commands held weight, and the people feared and respected him enough to listen, for there was still thunder echoing from the mountain. It was always God's desire to dwell with his children. Since the garden, he desired to walk through life with those he loved. So he told Moses to have them build a tabernacle so he might live among them, a holy place for the Spirit of the Lord to dwell among his people. So the Israelites did as the Lord said, and built him a tabernacle, a tent for him to travel alongside them in the wilderness. Though God was not confined to a tent, this would be a holy place for him to meet with them and be in their midst. The tabernacle was constructed with great care and instruction. It included the Ark of the Covenant, mercy seat, table of showbread, the golden lampstand, the altar of burnt offering, the altar of incense, and the bronze layer. All these would serve as a picture of God's faithfulness, and each would represent an aspect of their relationship with the Lord.